All right, welcome back. Episode 219 of Chaotically Intolerant. We have a full week of football today. We have Commanders taking down the. What am I talking about? I'm gonna redo that. That was horrible. My brain is not firing right. All right, welcome back. Episode 218 of Chaotically Intolerant. We have a full episode of football today. Daniel Jones, Indiana Jones, leading the Colts to 2-0. You got Lamar Jackson and the Ravens bouncing back, and Joe Burrow. I'm sure, Mike, some part in your mind is a little happy that you're not going to have to see Joe Burrow.
I wasn't. No, yeah, I'm not happy, but it obviously changes the scope of the division race a little bit. Yeah. It's kind of a shame because I like when the Ravens beat Joe Burrow. It seems like it's always a shootout. Those games are a lot of fun. But Cincinnati, in my opinion, they weren't going to be too serious a contender because of their defense anyway.
All right. Well, I like the take there. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Go check out Draft America. They're doing their podcast. If you want baseball content, go check out the Draft America podcast and the Cycle from Spring Hill Sports Cards. They will be bringing back Four Downs sometime in November. I think when baseball season officially wraps up, they'll be going back to football. So again, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and let's go. All right, let's do it, Mike. Let's start out Washington and Green Bay, Thursday night football. Jordan Love and Tucker Kraft, I think, defined that game. I think this Washington team just looked. This was a little bit of a prove it. Like, you need to come out here and really, prove why you were in the NFC title game, and they just didn't do it. I think this is still a young team, and over the offseason, I think we looked at them as that playoff run team when these teams are not gelled. They're not ready to go in week two. And, it still looks like a team with a young quarterback and just a lot more to prove.
I feel like the Commanders' defense is a bit problematic, and also not having a true run game. Teams can sort of adjust a little bit to Jaden Daniels. Now he's dealing with an injury. I do think the Packers are, at least in 2 weeks, have proven why they've become the NFC favorites, primarily because of the defense. They have an efficient quarterback in Jordan Love, and they can run the ball, which they did, for 135 yards. It was commitment on the ground, and they're not reliant on their quarterback to provide the rush yards the way that Washington is. They had 3 guys that all rushed for 17 yards, the Commanders. It starts there for me. I mean, if you want your quarterback to be able to move around and make plays with his legs, it would help to have other guys that are running the ball. Yeah, I don't know if I kind of feel like Washington's going to take a little bit of a step back this year.
Yeah, the running back by committee thing, I feel like is a really difficult thing to make work, especially with a young quarterback. I think you can do that with a veteran quarterback who can really command the field a lot better, but with a young quarterback like Jaden Daniels, I feel like it's harder to make that running back by committee thing work. And Micah Parsons, I mean, he's made his presence immediate, known immediately. And I think when we talked about it on our preview show, we were kind of like, okay, we don't know if he's going to have an immediate impact on this team because, he's joining right before week 1. He didn't have camp to prepare with the Packers. But I mean, this is like, fuck you, Jerry Jones. If I'm an NFC fan, I'm saying fuck you to Jerry Jones for trading him even in the conference at this point. Because he's clearly elevated this Packer defense to something that could very easily win a Super Bowl, not just likely or possible to win a Super Bowl. It almost feels easy. It's not easy, but almost feels easy.
I still think it's better than trading him in the division. I'll tell you that.
Oh, it definitely is. I mean, if he traded him to the Eagles, I think he should have been like run out of town at that point. I feel like Jerry should be run out of town at this point anyways, but yeah, no good. All right, let's go Rams Titans. Cam Ward just can't quite get it done. I mean, listen, this is we said it last week. This is just a bad Titans team. I don't think you can really judge Cam Ward. I think if you can judge Cam Ward by the fact that they're in some of these games. They were up at halftime. Cam Ward drove them down the field, scored right before the half. I think that is an accomplishment in its own. This Rams team, this is a weird Rams team, right? They feel a little odd to me. They're good, but are they really that good?
I think they are good. I mean, I think the coaching is a big part of it, and people will say, "Well, you can't win with just coaching." And it's like, well, you can go a long way with coaching. In this sport, it's more impactful than any other sport by a lot. It seems like. I think as long as you have a healthy quarterback, you have a quarterback that just understands how to win in the NFL. Yeah, I mean, it feels. I can see why people like they're not a sexy team. They don't have. I mean, but they've got, I think, a star receiver in Puka Nacua, and here's Devontae Adams putting up 106. So there are weapons. I don't know if Kyron Williams
45 on the ground as well.
Yeah,
very interesting.
Nacua, that's right. He had a 45-yard touchdown run, and Kyron Williams, solid day. But again, they're just efficient. I mean, Stafford was close to 300. I understand. Look, they beaten two NFC or AFC South teams to start the year, but kind of did it in different ways. Low scoring slugfest last week. This week a little more of a shootout. And yeah, I mean, Tennessee's a young team. It's hard you put a young quarterback like Cam Ward there. There's going to be growing pains. And he's gone up against Denver and the Rams first 2 weeks. He was sacked 5 times, but he didn't throw any picks.
Yeah, I mean,
I think Tennessee's the kind of team we'll see them maybe win a few games later in the year, and we'll start to maybe believe for next year.
Yeah, he's been sacked 11 times, I think, in his first 2 games, and they've been in both of those games. I mean, you can look at the final score of this one and say they got their butts kicked, but they were in this game. They were absolutely in this game. This game was not in hand, but it was very possible for them to win. So for Cam Ward to lead a Calvin Ridley, like when your best receiver is Calvin Ridley, you got really nothing to work with here, but he's trying to make it work, and I think this is promising. I would feel good if I'm a Titans fan. You don't care about your record this year. You really don't. And the Colts have them next week. They're talking shit, big mad shit about this Colts matchup. We'll talk about that a little later. Let's go into Jags Bengals. No more Joe Burrow, most likely for the rest of the year. They said best case. Now I know this timetable is being thrown around as 3 months. They said best case scenario is 3 months. So that's if everything goes right with Joe. And listen, I mean, you look at it with the Titans as well. You have a young quarterback, or you have a franchise quarterback who's getting hit a lot. And it's the Andrew Luck thing. Like, are we going to keep doing this where you're just not going to heavily invest in the offensive line? It's frustrating. It's sad to watch. I mean, financially, Joe Burrow is fine, but you're a competitor. You always want to win. You want to be as successful as you possibly can. And it feels like he's being held back a lot in Cincy. And on the Jags side, I mean, they seem like Trevor Lawrence. It seems like he's getting frustrated already with Liam Cohen. They said it's fine, but I mean, when you're blowing your coach off on the field, like, that doesn't really look good. Just going like that to him, you don't ever want to do that to your head coach.
Yeah, but I'm not really sure what to make of Jacksonville at this point, and you don't want to have stories like that coming out after 2 games into the guy's tenure. But it may take some time for them to get on the same page. And for the Bengals, I mean, Jake Browning, he had the top completion percentage in the league. In 7 games, granted, he completed 70% of his passes 2 years ago. He won 4 out of the 7 games. He's not Joe Burrow by any means, but I think they're still in decent shape. But the problem is he's got weapons to work with an offense, but are they going to be able to stop anyone on defense? But listen, they're 2-0. Remember, they couldn't win in week 2. They couldn't even win in week 1. And here they are at 2-0. They've at least given themselves a little bit of a cushion. And if Burrow comes back, great. But who knows? Maybe this is a chance for Jake Browning to, make his name in the NFL. And they play Minnesota, who also has Carson Wentz going.
Yes, I'm excited for that one. But I mean, listen, I believe in Jake Browning. We saw what he did a couple years ago. Was it a couple years ago? And they were in
Yeah.
that until the very end. I mean, I remember that Kansas City game where they played Kansas City really, really tough. I believe
Mhm.
it was in Kansas City as well.
It was, yeah.
So I believe in this Bengal team. Again, are they going to do anything like Super Bowl wise? No, they don't. They clearly don't have it. They don't have that ability. But if you can just get a game manager like Jake Browning to just not turn the football over and rely on guys like Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase had like 16 targets or something like that, something crazy like that. And then what was my other thing on this game? Let me see here. Brian Thomas Jr. So there was a little, there was some slow mos of him maybe making some business decisions on some balls. It did come out that he was playing through a wrist injury, so I don't know if that's just Liam Cohen's trying to throw some water on the fire, or if that is really true. He didn't show up on the practice report, but he very well could be playing through it and just didn't say anything until maybe pregame. But if that is true and he's just making business decisions like not diving for balls that directly result in interceptions, and that's, I mean, we're gonna have a circus. We're gonna have an Urban Meyer level circus if this is already happening in week 2.
Yeah, I mean, gotta have your star making plays, and you gotta have your star being, putting everything he has out there. So it seems like there's a little bit of infighting already going on in Jacksonville.
Yeah, no good. I mean, I'm loving it, but not good.
Yeah.
Cleveland, Baltimore. This is mean. You guys are mean. Joe Flacco returning to Baltimore, and you beat the shit out of him. That's so mean. You got to give us a good game. You got to let them stick around in there. But I mean, this just felt like you guys were taking your frustrations out after last week.
Yeah, I mean, they stacked the line against Henry. I mean, they really did what they kind of needed to do there, shutting him down. What did he have? 23 yards?
Yeah,
Something
my
like
dad
that.
has him in fantasy, and he was like, "What the fuck's going on here? Why are they
Yeah,
scoring a
the
million
Ravens,
points and Henry can't get anything?"
they didn't run, but Lamar had 4 touchdowns, and he showed that he can be a pocket passer. I mean, he ran only twice for 13 yards. Yeah, they were also celebrating the 30-year anniversary of beating the Ravens, leaving Cleveland. So it was a rough day for Cleveland. I don't think this game proves anything for the Ravens. I mean, you expected them to do this. They blew the lead. They came back, took out their frustrations on a bad football team. I mean, last year they didn't do that. They lost to the Raiders, and then they started 0-2. So at least they didn't have that happen. But I'm not really sure, as a fan, I'm not getting excited about this game. Against Detroit, it'll be a different story. They'll have a chance to kind of prove that they can still take down top teams and hang on to leads. They'll have that chance on Monday night. But yeah, they roughed up Flacco a little bit. But hey, Dylan Gabriel came in 3 for 3 for 19 for a touchdown, and they actually ran for 5.2 yards a carry. So it's not awful for Cleveland, all things considered.
Why not Shador? I want to see some Shador. Show me some Shador.
Yeah.
Let's go Bills Jets. Nothing much here. Josh Allen played through a broken nose, which is crazy. He broke his nose on the field. Mitchell Trubisky came. I think it was a broken nose. Mitchell Trubisky came in. Apparently, they popped it back in, and then we're like, on your way. Which I hope he was assessed for a concussion. So
Yeah.
we remember Houston a year or two ago when they just sent him back out after hitting his head on the turf.
Right. Yeah. I think that this game, again, also doesn't prove a whole lot. Justin Fields is going to be out next week as well. They'll have Tyrod Taylor. 54 yards net passing as a team for the Jets. Bills defense, I mean, smothering a bad team, 43 carries, 224. I mean, they really just completely bowled over this team. Did what they had to do. They look really, really good at 2-0.
Yeah. Jets are a bad team. Bills are a good team. The Bills did. They beat them by 20. That's what should have happened. Patriots, Dolphins. We got back-to-back special teams touchdowns in this one. A punt return for a touchdown, and then Antonio Gibson returning one for the kickoff for a touchdown. Drake May has been exactly what you want from a quarterback, I think. it's not going to be easy sledding for this Patriots team and Drake May. Miami looked to have a little bit more life, but Tua did the Tua thing of just stupid turnovers, stupid interceptions. I mean, Mike McDaniel has to be the first coach off the board if we're going to have coach firings this year. He has to be that number one coach because this Miami team is just bad. They are bad.
They're terrible. Yeah, he should be the first coach fired. I'm sure if you looked at the odds, they would be for first coach fired, it would be McDaniels. I like seeing Mike Vrabel running down the sideline with Gibson, just like a kid, Great day for Drake May. Only 4 incompletions and 2 touchdowns, no picks. I mean, yeah, it's again, like Tua puts up over 300. He only had 6 incompletions, but he sacked 5 times. The Dolphins just figure out ways to not make the plays. I don't know. I don't see McDaniels lasting through the season, but if I'm not mistaken, I think the last time the Dolphins fired a coach midseason was Dave Wanstead in 2004. So it's not like it's a common thing, but yeah, I'm just sick of watching this Dolphins. Again, if you're gonna be mediocre, just be bad. You're gonna be mediocre every single year. Tear it down, be bad.
Yeah. 49ers Saints, Mac Jones. I mean, this Saints team, let's give it to the Saints first. They're scrappy. They are trying to win. They are trying to win these games. I mean, they look like they are fighting for Kellen Moore here. So I'm going to give it to this team for actually not just laying down and being awful like everyone has said. I mean, I would say, honestly, like the Dolphins look like a worse team. Who else? The Bears look like a worse team. They've been lying down and just dying in their games, which I guess they played a close game. So what am I talking about? Carolina looks really bad. So give it to the Saints here. And Mac Jones, I mean, is it really a shock that Mac Jones looks successful under the Shanahan offense?
No, he had a great game. I mean, that's awesome for him. And Spencer Rattler had a great game. Like more offensive production in this game than you would have thought. Yeah, it's overachieving teams versus underachieving teams. The worst, most frustrating thing for fans is seeing the team underachieve. The Saints are absolutely overachieving. They're going to get a few teams this year. They're not going to have a great record, but you could clearly see that they're playing hard. They're playing better than I think they actually are. So yeah, hats off to them. But the Niners are 2-0 and 2 wins on the road. So for all the injuries, all the concern, they've done what they have to do, and now they get a big chance at home against Arizona.
Yeah, that 2-0. I mean, now you have a padding. You didn't really, maybe didn't expect to win this one against New Orleans, seeing how they fought last week, and then knowing you don't have Brock Purdy. But nice little surprise, nice little pad for the 49ers here, maybe to lose a divisional game. Giants Cowboys, holy shit. Hold on. So apparently this was the first Giants Cowboys game in the 1:00 slate on Sunday in like 20 something years. They had always been forcing it down our throats at 4:00 and on prime time, but this is the one. This is, if we were getting these on prime time, holy shit, I would be incredibly happy. 40-37. Dak and Russ combined for like 600 something yards or something like that. I didn't do the math on this. What's 450 plus 361? Like 700 something yards.
811, yeah.
Or 811, I'm sorry. But I mean, Russ was like weirdly vintage Russ, but also not. He just doesn't look right in that Giants uniform. Anything he does just looks weird in the Giants uniform.
I'm with you. By the way, if it was 21 years, yes, 2005 would have been the last 1:00 game, and that also went to overtime. It was 16-13.
Just keep putting them in one. I don't want to see it on prime time anymore.
Yeah, Bledsoe against Eli Manning. Yeah, I mean, it was the most exciting game of the day. You didn't think you'd get 77 points from these two teams and the 811 passing yards. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, how mad can you be at Russell Wilson for putting up 450 in a game? Yeah, he's not the answer, and it's just you threw that bad pick in overtime. But yeah, I like this Cam Scatterbo. I remember him. Was it Arizona State?
Yeah.
Where he went? Yeah. I don't know. I think at least you have some encouraging sign. I mean, Malik Neighbors had a massive game. So did Wan'Dale Robinson. They 2 guys that combined for 309 yards through the air. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know much to say other than just it was a fun game between 2 teams that didn't expect from.
Yeah, I mean, and I think like this is one of these two teams are bad enough to make it a good one. Um, but I mean, Brandon Aubrey, I think, really led the headlines here. 64 yards as the clock expires to send it to overtime after the game or the go-ahead touchdown, like deep ball. I think that was to Malik Neighbors from Russ. I mean, just an absolutely insane game. Dallas goes down the field, sets up Aubrey for like essentially a Hail Mary from 64. I mean, I said I think we would see the record set twice. We're already at 64 in week 2. So we're gonna get there. I think we're gonna get at least one NFL kicking record. I think we'll get it twice at some point this year, especially at the end of the year. Teams are just gonna be like, fuck it. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, to think a 64-yard field goal is just like, yeah, now we're in range. We'll go for it.
Yeah, that's just insane, and I love it. I mean, I was jumping up and down when that happened, just watching that game. Love Brandon Aubrey. He's fucking awesome. Lions, Bears. Oh, my. The Bears are really not good. Caleb Williams, not great. When do we get to panic time for this Bears team?
Maybe 2 more weeks. Yeah, maybe 2 more weeks. I mean, it's, you got a new coach, so you got to have a little bit of a runway, I think. But yeah, this was one where I thought the Lions would be maybe in a tight spot. You know, they didn't want to go to 0-2, and they didn't do much offensively in week 1 against the Packers, and then all of a sudden, boom, Jared Goff 23 for 28, 334 and 5 touchdowns, 30 carries, 177 as a team, and it's not like Williams' numbers were horrible, but it was all garbage time by halftime. You know, by the second half, and we saw Tyson Badgett get in there. Yeah, they don't look good, but I think this was just as much about watching Detroit really bounce back and show people that they're still a really good team, and they'll get a real chance to prove it on Monday night against the Ravens.
Yeah, I think we really, really wanted to jump on the Lions. I think that or a lot of media wanted to really jump on the Lions and say, look, they're not that good. They're not that good. But I mean, this was, it was week 1 when they got, their butts kicked in Green Bay. And this was like a good rebound spot. Like, are you going to show that you're still a good team? And they did. Jared Goff was incredibly efficient and just dominant overall. 5 touchdowns and 3 to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Pretty crazy. Seahawks, Steelers. I didn't really didn't watch too much of this game. This was a weird one with the kickoff. And did Rodgers throw an interception at the end, but it didn't really matter?
I don't know. I didn't see that one either, but I know he threw a bad pick in the end zone. And Steelers
yeah,
it
was. It was with what is this? 1:19 to go in the 4th, and they were down. Yeah, they were down 31-17.
Yeah, Steelers had a chance to kind of show hey, we're actually going to be solid this year. And then Rodgers comes out, has a very modest game, and Sam Darnold puts up close to 300. And it's always alarming for me when the Steelers defense struggles. That's the thing that always stands out. When they give up 30 plus now 2 weeks in a row to the Jets in Seattle, this ain't the steel curtain. I mean, if Rodgers is going to have to win games for them, I don't know. Maybe Mike Tomlin's winning season streak actually is in jeopardy. Probably not, but 8-1 or something. But I don't know. I don't see the Steelers team as anywhere close to championship material.
Yeah, Rodgers 18 for 33, 203, a touchdown and a pick. Yeah, not great.
Get it done. Yeah,
and the kickoff thing, just again the Caleb Johnson. I don't even know really what happened. I just know that all this extra kickoff shit it's just proving more and more that it's just this is getting too much. We need to do something else. That this is crazy. They don't want to get rid of the kickoff. If you're going to change up the kickoff so much, then just get rid of it. I don't want this version of the kickoff. That's my issue. I have no interest in that. Do the fucking 4th down and 20 if you want to onside kick it, and do the whatever, just starting at the 25. I mean, if we're just gonna be doing this shit, I'm sick of it.
Yeah, apparently Trump doesn't like it either, right? He chimed in.
So. I don't need any president. I don't need any politician talking about football. Stick to what you're doing. I just they are so out of touch with like the regular human being. I mean, that is an opinion I would agree with, that I hate this kickoff. So, but I hate when politicians get all in football. Like, they sound like the most out of touch people whenever they talk about it. On both sides. Yeah. Don't think this is a Trump or whatever thing.
Yeah, exactly. Stay in your lane.
Yeah, seriously. You guys already suck enough as politicians. We don't need to hear your opinions on football, because they probably suck too. Colts 2-0 over the Broncos. Broncos fans were pretty pissed off with the leverage call at the end of the game. I mean, I'm sorry, that's like the most basic penalty, and they've said I've never seen that called. We absolutely have seen that called a few times within the last few years. But again, like that, it's not called that often because it just doesn't happen all that often, because players just don't do it all that often.
Go back to 2003. You're a Colts fan. Monday night, one of the greatest comebacks ever. Peyton Manning, down 21 with 4 minutes to go, ties the game, and Mike Vanderjagt, Mr. Choke, misses a short field goal in overtime. Leverage call. I think it might have been on Simeon Rice. Gets another shot, another short field goal, hits the upright, but it goes in. So maybe the Colts have some good juju when it comes to getting these leverage calls. But no, I mean, hey, Daniel Jones, man. I mean, they're 2-0, and they beat up a good team, and they had to come from behind, and 316 in the air, touchdown, no picks. Jonathan Taylor, 165. I mean, you watch the game, you know the intricacies of it better than me, but just from a 10,000-foot view, I mean, so you got to be pretty stoked about this start.
I mean, Tyler Warren is the real deal. Like, he is the absolute real fucking deal. This kid can do everything, and it's like it's an immediate impact. Even on the first drive of the season against Miami, it was an immediate impact. So this is awesome to see. Like, Colts tight ends are back. We're back, because for a while we tried the Mo Alley Cox thing, and we were trying to get these really big dudes who can just jump, but they weren't utilizing them correctly whatsoever. And this is just awesome to see. Tyler Warren.
He was a basketball player, right? He was a basketball player.
Yeah, Mo Alley Cox, Jelani Woods. Mo Alley Cox, I think, played for like West Virginia.
We'll go back. Marcus Pollard was player for Bradley. He ended up being actually a pretty good tight end. So maybe that's just a thing, because Indiana is the Hoosier State, the basketball state. So yeah, maybe that's why.
It did not work, though. Sadly, it did not work. We tried it. It did not work. Tyler Warren getting it done. I mean, Daniel Jones, this is just awesome to see from him. A guy who was like written off. This is a Baker Mayfield situation, written off. And, they go to those new locations and they figure it out. So really happy for him. 2-0 for the first time since 2009. Fittingly that we did it against Sean Payton, because we lost to Sean Payton in the Super Bowl that year. So, and on the Denver side, I mean, I don't really have much, I guess. This Denver team, these are two teams. They're very evenly matched. It felt like a very evenly matched game. And if there's playoffs in both of our futures, I think it's going to end up maybe finding each other at some point. This feels like a game you could see the other team in the playoffs. Maybe the Colts win the South and Denver picks up, that fifth or sixth wild card spot, or maybe they win their division and these teams go on a run in the playoffs and meet. But I don't think this is the last the Colts are going to see of the Broncos, honestly, in my opinion. And besides that, I mean, Jonathan Taylor, 165. He really looked like JT of old. This team is rolling. And if you want to hate on Carly Ursay Gordon, I can't remember her name. There's three different owners of the Colts. But I mean, an owner on the sidelines, normal. I guess it's not a great look normally, because you have guys like Jerry Jones who are really meddling in the day-to-day operations of the team, but she just wants to know what's going on with the team. So I don't even know if you know this story. She's on the sidelines. I think it's great. Yeah, with a walkie, with a headset on, she's listening to what's going on. But I mean, from reports, she's not being involved. Like, she's not saying, "Hey, we actually need to do this." because she has openly said, listen, I don't know everything that goes on with this team. Like, I want to know. That's an owner. That is an owner. That's an owner that you want.
Yeah, I
Someone
love it.
who's
I love it.
down
Yes.
there, wants to be in it, wants to know exactly what's going on, so then she can make a properly informed decision on coaching or just staff or players. That's what I love to see, because we didn't even see Jim doing that. So if this, and the team is playing well, this would be a much bigger issue if the Colts were 0-2 to start the year. I know that it would be the leading story in the headlines if the Colts were 0-2. So I'm waiting for, a season is ebbs and flows. You're going to have down moments, and I'm just waiting for the down moments. Hopefully people don't kind of jump on that in the down moments. But I love it. I think this is awesome that she's doing this. I mean, and listen, I'm not trying to make this a sexist thing, but I don't think it would be as big of a problem if she was a man. I'm sorry. She's a young female owner. How many female owners do we have out there? So,
Adams, the Titans owner,
yeah,
the daughter of Bud Adams. Yeah.
But still, I mean, it's this, you have to look at it, I think, as something of a gender issue at this point, because I don't think it would be as big of a deal. I mean, Jerry Jones is constantly meddling in the Cowboys, and it's only kind of an issue when he makes a bad move, but no one really talks about it when the good is going on. So I think it's ridiculous. She's an owner. She wants to know what's going on. That should be a good thing. That's like the CEO of a company going to work in the factory so he can know how their product is made. People look at that as a good thing.
Yeah.
So I think it's good owner. I'm happy. I'm excited. That's really awesome, and hopefully it really translates in the future. Let's see here. Panthers Cardinals. Bryce Young dug himself a hole and really almost dug himself out. They almost overcame a 24-point deficit here.
I mean, maybe there's some momentum to be carried over. I don't have much on this game other than, hey, good for Arizona, 2-0. They beat two teams they're supposed to beat. Numbers not sexy for them. Bryce Young, I mean, he ends up with 328. He had to throw 55 times. You don't want to have a situation where your top running back's only going for 38. But I think if there's any silver lining for Carolina, it's they get their first home game coming up. They've got a division game, and they finish this game strong. They can't get down 20-3 at halftime. That's all.
Yeah. Hunter Renfrow is a Carolina Panther. Forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about Hunter Renfrow. I apologize. I should not have forgotten about you. Eagles Chiefs Super Bowl rematch. I mean, this is also not really the score does not reflect the game here. But besides that, I don't really have much here. I mean, I think this just kind of proved what we thought, that the Eagles are for real and the Chiefs have a lot to work on.
Eagles exposed the Chiefs for sure. They did it again. Hurts wins with 101 yards. Yeah, Chris Jones yapping at him at the end of the game. I don't know why, because they've just lost twice in the last 3 games to this team.
Michael Jordan said, you can talk shit when you're up, but it takes someone real to talk shit when you're down. So,
yeah. And Nick Sirianni talked about it after the fact. It's just, he's right, though. You could say they haven't looked great. They slugged through wins, but a little different than what they did last year. I mean, they kind of dominated teams, and I'm not saying they won't do that, but early in the season, remember how average the Eagles looked last year? And they started 2-2, and they had that bad loss to the Bucs. And they're 2-0 this year, and they've done it kind of in ugly fashion. It's scary when a team as talented as the Eagles can embrace and succeed in winning ugly. And yeah, for the Chiefs, don't count them out, but clearly they have some warts. They really do. It's going to be an uphill climb for them, I think. They're not going to fall off a cliff and be, 6-11, but they're going to really have to figure. I mean, Mahomes can only do so much. That's all I'm saying. He can only do so much. I mean, he ran for more than half the team's yardage. They don't run. Their offensive line's average. Kelsey looks like he's lost a step. The defense is not, putting the clamps down on teams like they did a couple of years ago when they carried them all the way. So Chiefs have some work to do.
Schedule doesn't get much easier. Giants, Sunday Night Football, Ravens, Jaguars, Lions, Raiders, Commanders. and then the
Yeah.
Bills. That just gets them to Buffalo.
It yeah.
There is not, I don't think there's a single game in here that I say that is a guaranteed win. Not a single one. I mean, I don't even look at the Giants because look at what they did against Dallas.
Yeah.
I can't even say
Yeah.
it about them. Can't say it about the Jags, as they look frustrating, but they also look good week one. I mean, the Raiders, maybe, but that's a division game. You can't write anyone out in division games. So there is not a single game in here that I see a win. Let's just say that.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
But wouldn't that just be gross? They're just bad for 1 week or 1 year. They get a top draft pick and they get some generational talent, and then it's just, oh, we're back. We're already back.
Yeah. I mean, don't be shocked if it happens. They're a good organization with a great quarterback and maybe a little bit of a transition for a few years, but they're going to be, they're not going away.
No.
They may not be the dominant team, but they are not going away.
No. I think in a few years we're still going to see the Chiefs as a dominant team.
Yeah.
Falcons, Vikings. JJ McCarthy looked like a rookie. Don't apologize for looking like a rookie.
Well, he's not a rookie, but yeah, his like first year guy. Yeah. He did. Michael Penix and company bounced back. It was an ugly game, 22-6. Just a weird score. Two quarterbacks that didn't even combine for 300 yards. And now McCarthy's down. We're going to see Wentz. I don't really know what to make of this. I know Bijan Robinson had a huge game, and that's always a good sign for Atlanta. And Penix was good. He didn't turn the ball over. So, yeah, it's a good formula for winning if you can do that. But not sure how Atlanta's going to stack up against the bigger teams. I feel like they failed that first test against Tampa, and now they got to make sure they don't slip up against Carolina here.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is kind of what they should have done. They should have put their foot down here after a frustrating loss against Tampa. So I don't have too much to say. I mean, the Falcons leaned on their strengths. And again, McCarthy he looked inexperienced. He had like a fumbled snap at one point, I think, that he did recover, but just a lot of like rookie first year guy mistakes. Bucks Texans. Is Baker, here's a good debate. Is Baker Mayfield elite? Is he an elite quarterback? I think he's getting into that territory.
He's getting there. Not yet, but he's just, I like the guy, honestly. I know I'm not a hater the way that some people are. I get that he rubs some people the wrong way, but he's just a tough, gritty guy too. You can't look at him and be like, this is a pretty boy, spoon-fed, number one pick. I mean, the guy's been beat up literally and by the media a ton, and it just keeps the Bucks very relevant. And the Bucks are a good team now with a more explosive receiving core. I think the defense was a big question mark coming in, but they've done their part. 20-19 against two pretty solid football teams. So, and this is Houston being Houston, and this is just the Texans. Just blowing a game that they had no business losing. I mean, they probably had no business winning it either when they went ahead, but they just let the Bucks go 80 yards in 2 minutes. How is this team going to get over the hump? Really? I mean, now the Colts are actually good. We thought, they can just be 8-9 and win that division. Maybe not. Even Jacksonville's solid.
Yeah. I mean, the Texans are just so underwhelming. And
12 first downs. I mean, come on.
Is this, are we getting to the point where you can't keep blaming the offensive line for everything anymore? Because they can't be this like, they just don't look good. They don't look good at all. The defense, I think, is still there, but offensively, they just don't look good. And can you start to point to CJ Stroud a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. I think you can point to DeMeco Ryans a little bit too. Really?
Yeah. Not good. I mean, it's good for me. It's very good for me.
Yeah.
And then Chargers Raiders. The double Monday. I think the double Monday night game is better when they do it like this. When they stack them, so you don't have to have two TVs on at the same time. But a 10 o'clock start time is really tough. That is really tough. I watched the first half of this Charger Raider game, and then I was like, oh. We still have like another 2 hours on this game. Basically, it's too much, too late. But I mean, the Chargers look like a good team as well. This was just them putting their foot down and saying we're really good. We beat the Chiefs for a reason. Justin Herbert has the new hot girlfriend bump. He's playing really well. Dayton Madison beer or something like that. I don't know. But not much to say here from me.
I think the Chargers are very good, actually. And it's crazy. I know no one ever wants to drink the Charger Kool-Aid, and they'll have their bumps in the road. But they held Geno to 150 net passing, 30 yards and sacks, 3 picks, no touchdowns. They've won 2 division games to start the year. That they don't get a ton from their receivers, but Quentin Johnson, Keenan Allen each found the end zone. I've always thought Herbert was, if you gave him an opportunity, if he could stay healthy, he's a very good quarterback. Their run game to me is questionable. They have their holes, but defense looks really good. They're well coached. This is one of the first times I've ever felt like I've said, "Oh, Chargers look like a well coached team." I mean, you could go back to Marty Schottenheimer, and he took a lot of blame because of the playoff losses, but at least with him, they also were pretty well coached. They were a running football team. They were hard nosed, and he was a guy that they respected. And I think Jim Harbaugh has this team very organized. My opinion, I'd give them the best chance to win the AFC West right now.
Yeah, they look like the best team by far.
Yeah.
I think that I don't think anyone could really go play the Chargers in the West and win. I don't think I would sit there and confidently say, yeah, the Chiefs can beat the Chargers. Yeah, the Broncos can beat the Chargers. Definitely not the Raiders. So Chargers, this is about as positive as I think the Chargers can feel in a long time, like a really, really long time. I think even more than the Brandon Staley wild card blown lead, like before the wild card game. I don't think you're feeling as positive as now. Dolphins, or let's go into week 3. We're gonna make our picks and get out of here. Dolphins, Bills, Thursday Night Football. I'm going Bills.
We talking spreads or just straight up?
Straight up picks.
Bills, yeah.
How do you like that 11.5 points though?
I actually like it, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's dangerous, division rival and all that. But, it could be one of those they punch in a late touchdown to cover.
Dolphins are just that bad, though. I think they're that bad.
They're bad. They just don't figure out ways to score points. They move the ball and they don't score.
Yeah.
Dangerous recipe.
Colts, Titans. Colts 4.5 point road favorites right now. I think that's a lot.
I like. Yeah. Well, but I just could be that come down to earth game, but I don't know. They're riding the wave right now. I'm taking them.
It's a division game. Like I'm gonna talk myself into the Titans, so I'm gonna pick the Titans just out of my tradition. But I mean, I go 50-50 on this game. 4.5 seems a lot, especially on the road, because obviously there's that 3-point difference for home and road. I think they should be like 1.5 point favorites. I think that's more than enough. I think that's a little bit like that's Vegas trying to get you to bet on the Colts. They know something. I think Cam Ward's going to have a good game on Sunday. I'll say that. Bengals, Vikings. Jake Brown. We would have gotten J.J. McCarthy and Joe Burrow. Now it's Jake Browning and Carson Wentz. Minnesota 2.5 point favorites right now.
I hate picking Carson Wentz. Last time he was on the field, the Chiefs lost 38-0. I'm going with the Bengals.
I really like the Bengals here. This is a really underestimating Jake Browning and this Bengals offense, and just overestimating Carson Wentz. I mean, come on. Are we seriously going to do this? When they had J.J. McCarthy, they lost 22-6 to the Falcons. I mean, this is clearly not a good enough team to carry a Carson Wentz. I love Carson, but no. Bengals all the way. Steelers, Patriots. This used to be like a really big matchup. Now it's Aaron Rodgers and Drake May. In New England, Pittsburgh, 1.5 point favorites.
I like New England. Give me New England.
Really? You like New England here?
Oh, yeah. Pittsburgh. I don't get Aaron Rodgers.
I don't think the Patriots are going to be able to do enough as a team. I think this is going to be a really close one. Drake May is going to keep them in it, but I think Mike Tomlin is just too good of a coach. especially because Drake May is a young quarterback. I think Tomlin will figure it out and find a way to. This is going to be one of those games where, like, how did they have a winning record? This is one of them where it's like they just sneak out of Foxborough with a win.
Steelers have given up over 30 points in 2 games to the Jets and Seahawks. I think New England has a better offense.
They got to come back down to earth, though. I think they have to come back, not down to earth, but they have to come back at some point. Texans, Jags in Jacksonville. Jacksonville 1.5-point favorites.
I think Houston gets its first win.
Yeah, I think this is one of the weird AFC South like streaks they have going on. I think Houston beats Jacksonville a lot in Jacksonville, so I'm going with Houston as well. Just keep that trend going. Falcons, Panthers, and Carolina. Atlanta 5.5-point favorites.
I don't know if I like giving that many points away. I think Atlanta will win, but I might lean towards taking the points.
I kind of liked what I saw from the Panthers in the second half. I think I'm going Carolina here. I think I'm going Carolina to win here. I really like them here. Like it a lot.
Yeah.
Rams, Eagles, big one. NFC divisional rematch. And just, 2 of the probably top 3-4 teams in the NFC facing off.
Yeah, the team that gave the Eagles the biggest tussle last year. I really want to pick the Rams. I do, but I don't know. I could also see Philly having just a big game. I don't know. I think just to be safe, I would take the Rams plus 3.5, just to, if nothing else, the Eagles beat them by a field goal. But the Eagles dominated the Rams in the first meeting last year. They ran the ball. I don't know. Flip a coin. I'll take the Eagles to win. A tight one.
Yeah, Philly being 3.5, point home favorites. It's a coin flip. I would say it's a coin flip. Neutral field, it's an even spread. So I'm gonna go with the Rams here. I feel like Philly, they haven't been overwhelming in either of their wins. They've been decisive, but not like dominant. So I feel like this is maybe going to be one that makes us question them a little bit. I don't think it's right to question if this team is for real, but I think it's going to make you question a little bit. Jets, Bucks, Tampa, and the Bucks are 6.5-point favorites.
They should be more with Tyrod Taylor. I'm big on the Bucks in this one.
Yeah, give me the Bucks here. Raiders, Commanders, Washington 3.5-point favorites at home.
If Daniels plays, I like them more, but I would take the Raiders with the points.
Yeah, if Daniels doesn't play, I would think maybe the Raiders can win this one outright. Washington hasn't. Yeah. I don't. Against New York, they were, they did everything they needed to do to win, but they didn't look amazing. So they still haven't looked amazing. If you have Marcus Mariota in there, I would think Pete Carroll would figure out a way to win here. So Daniels plays Commanders, Mariota plays Raiders. Packers, Browns, and Cleveland. Green Bay 7.5-point favorites.
Gotta go with Green Bay to just keep rolling. Just how do the Browns score points against that defense?
Yeah, Green Bay is going to roll here. They're going to roll. Broncos, Chargers in LA. LA 2.5-point favorites.
Yeah, I could see the Broncos pulling the upset, but I'm just very sold on the Chargers right now. I think they ride this early wave. They're not going 6-0 in their division. I'm 100% sure of that. But if they can get this win and start 3-0 in their division, they're halfway there.
And 3 straight division games to start their season. What a gauntlet they're putting them through. I'm going Chargers here as well. I just don't trust the Broncos enough. I think it's gonna be close. I think 2.5 is like a right number. I think it's a coin flip if you take it at 2.5. Saints, Seahawks in Seattle.
I want to say like this is so obvious for Seattle. I could see the Saints keeping it close. I can't see the Seahawks going 0-2 at home and the Saints winning on the road after dropping 2 at home. I'll take Seattle, but I'm not sure about the 7.5, honestly.
Yeah, this could be I would take New Orleans plus 7.5 here very easily.
I think I would too, but I do think Seattle wins this one.
Yeah, me too. 49ers, Cardinals, San Fran 2.5-point home favorites.
Give me Arizona. I don't know. I like Arizona. I like the way they're playing right now. A chance to be 3-0. they got a chance to be in first place in the division if the Rams lose to the Eagles and they win this one. So
Yeah, I think I I am I think Mac Jones comes down to earth a little bit here. I think that was
yeah,
you're playing the Saints, it was kind of unexpected, obviously. You don't expect an injury, but now it's your game. I don't believe in it. Cowboys, Bears in Chicago, Dallas, 1.5 point favorites.
I got to go with Dallas. I think the Bears just looks like such garbage right now. Wouldn't shock me if they found a way to bounce back. They got embarrassed, and I never trust Dallas that much. But coming off a 40 burger, I'll take the Cowboys.
I'm gonna go Bears here. I just feel like they have to look good at some point, and I don't think they're gonna start 0-3. I think 1-2 is a perfectly fair record. I think the Cowboys are gonna be one of those teams where like you don't always know what to expect from them. And I think they'll come out and maybe lay an egg here, especially Soldier Field outdoor games. So give me the Bears. Chiefs, Giants, Sunday Night Football. 2 0-2 teams. Who would have thought it would be 2 0-2 teams? I'm going Chiefs. Kansas City, 6.5 point favorites. I think it'll be closer than 6.5, but I'm going Kansas City to win.
I do too, but and as obvious as it looks and how sometimes those are dangerous to pick, I just cannot see the Chiefs going 0-3, but they're going to have to earn this one. This will actually be a good game. I think I would take the points with the Giants, but cannot for the life of me seeing this is one the Chiefs have to have with the Ravens coming up because they could be looking at 0-4.
That would be crazy. Lions, Ravens, Monday Night Football. Rematch of the Justin Tucker 66-yard.
This will be really good.
Winner.
I think it's a lot. What's that?
Rematch of the Justin Tucker 66-yard game winner.
Well, and then in 2013, they played on Monday night. He had a 61-yard game winner. Those were both at Ford Field. This will be home. The Ravens dominated. The last two times, actually every time in their history, Detroit has come to Baltimore, they've been dominated. Barry Sanders' last game was 19-10. I'm looking. I lost it, but I think they won like 48-3. Stafford's first year, they beat him 44-20. I was at that game in 17. They beat him 38-6. Detroit plays horrible in Baltimore. They struggle with mobile quarterbacks. I think the Ravens need a primetime redemption. I don't love picking them. I'm like you, kind of pessimistic, but it's just, what do? You stop Henry and then Lamar is going to throw 4 touchdowns. I think the Ravens are just going to treat these next few weeks as just trying to get that taste out of their mouths from that Buffalo game. And no way Goff can play that flawless 2 weeks in a row, right? I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout, but I will take the Ravens with the points.
Yeah, 4.5. I mean, I feel like if the Ravens are going to win, they're going to win by more than 4.5. And if they lose, I think they'll lose really, really close. Lions cut. I mean, these are two teams coming off tough week 1 losses. Lions got trampled and you guys blew a big lead. And then you guys really just put your foot down and said, we're not that bad. We're not bad. We're not bad teams whatsoever. So this is a good test. I mean, I think these teams are kind of in the same spot, or they are in the same spot a little bit. So this will be a good fork in the road for either one. Whoever wins is, I think, going to go on a run, and whoever loses, I think it's going to be really frustrating. And I think it might be a little indicative of their season. So I really think the Ravens are going to win. I think the Ravens are a better team overall. All right. Before we get out of here, I know we got to go. One last small thing. I saw this on TikTok. So, it's going to be stupid. Stadium cups. I mean, the women have their Stanley cups and they have all these stupid cups, and they complain about men having stadium cups. What's your favorite stadium cup? Because I think that is like the men's equivalent of like Stanley cups and all these different cups that women have to have.
The Orioles used to have a lot of really big novelty ones around the Cal Ripken thing. Those are my favorite.
Yeah. I have I think when David Ortiz retired, I have a good Red Sox stadium cup from his retirement. And they did the whole, it was all David Ortiz for that final year. And then I have a good, I think it's Dwight Freeney, Ring of Honor stadium cup. That's pretty cool from Indianapolis. So I thought that would just be a cool little segment. Cause women buy all these $40 ridiculous cups, but our cups are ugly as shit too. Stadium cups are ugly as shit to have in a house. It's so funny, but I love them. They're awesome. I have like 15, and if someone tries to throw them away, it's like World War III. Like, you're not throwing away my Stadium cup. I remember exactly where I was at when I bought that $16 Stadium cup, but I got free soda, unlimited soda. That's like the good thing about the Stadium cup. You don't get free soda with a Stanley cup. So
yeah.
All right, let's get out of here. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Go check out Draft America, their podcast, and then Spring Hill Sports, the site. Go check them out as well. And we will see you next week.